Hello, friends, and I'm calling you friends today, even if you aren't, because I'm feeling friendly. This is Jewish, Asian, and Pacific Island wrestlers you should know, and today we're going to recognize Professor Toru Tanaka and the father of the Macho Man and Lanny Poffo, Angelo Poffo. Professor Toru Tanaka's real name was Charles J. Kalani Jr. He was born in 1930 and he died in 2000. He was an American professional wrestler, a pro boxer, a college football player, a soldier, an actor, and a martial artist. Now just think about the discipline of this guy just for 1 second. That's amazing, especially for the time that he came in. You know? Just unbelievable to me. You've got to see this guy. You see the picture, but you've got to find some footage of Tanaka, or you have to find some actual matches of Tanaka, because you'll lose your shit. Now, this is per Freddie Blassie. From Tanaka's point of view, he was passing time with Fuji. Tanaka and Fuji tagged together and they drew a hell of a lot of money, especially at the time because the cultural heat was against Japan. Because it made sense to him to team up with another Japanese villain, the two certainly had no great admiration for each other. Tanaka was a by-the-book guy who looked at wrestling as a means to make a living. He wanted to work his match, shake hands with everyone afterwards, and save some money. He was a professional. If you wanted to talk about an angle beforehand, you always went to Tanaka. He was the ring general who'd lead everyone else in the match. Fuji was certainly a good performer, but you couldn't control him. So in addition to worrying about their opponents, Tanaka had the responsibility of making sure that Fuji didn't get out of hand. I guess he did a pretty good job because years later, when Tanaka was relegated to working these tiny independent shows to earn a few extra bucks, Fuji himself became a manager. And I want you to hear this too, guys. This is the long line of movies he was in, and Professor Toru Tanaka was one of the first guys to transition from wrestling to Hollywood. 1981, he was in An Eye for an Eye. 81 to 82, he was on Fantasy Island, which was a big show. Little House on the Prairie in 82. Right there, another Gigantor show. 1983, Angel of Heat. 1983, Off the Wall Bonsai Wrestler number 1. 1983, he was in Revenge of the Ninja. 1984, he was on the A-Team, which was gigantic. 1984, also Chattanooga Choo Choo. 1985, Missing in Action 2, which was outstanding. 1985, also Pee-wee's Big Adventure. 1985, he was in Volunteers. He was back on the A-Team in 1986. He was in Bad Guys. He was in Shanghai Surprise. He was in Catch the Heat. This was huge. He co-starred with, or he appeared in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger called The Running Man. In 88, he was in Dead Heat. In 89, he was in Tax Season. Also in 89, he was in Hyperspace. Also in 89, it was a huge box office hit with Michael Douglas, Black Rain. 1990, Darkman. 1990, Martial Law. 1991, The Perfect Weapon. 1991, Alligator 2, The Mutation. 1991, Deadly Game. 1992, Three Ninjas, which was huge. 1993, The Last Action Hero, which was a huge show. And then 1995, he was in Hard Justice as a character that appeared at Cookie. Kalani died of heart failure on August 22nd, 2000. And because of his military service, he was given a full military funeral, which to me is just freaking outstanding and says so much about this man. How at the end of the day, that military stuff carried him into that. You know what I'm saying? And now we're going to talk about my man, Angelo Poffo. And there's just so much stuff here, man. I mean, Angelo Poffo, when I broke in, a lot of the guys used to talk about how cheap he was. One of his wrestling characters was actually called the Miser based upon that fact. You know what I mean? Angelo John Poffo, April 10th, 1925. He was an American wrestler and a professional wrestling promoter. He ran International Championship Wrestling for a number of years. Now, here it only talks about some of the places that Angelo booked, and they're talking about Tennessee, Kentucky, and Arkansas, which they did. But what I've come to find out is that he ran a lot of shows all over the country, and he didn't have that, what was then called an outlaw tag on him, because he was Angelo Poffo. Angelo Poffo was not a big man during the time in the industry when the only guys who made big money, the top guys, were big men. You know what I'm saying? But the two buildings that I ran, because I found out Poffo ran them, was number one, Memorial Hall in Racine, which was cool because I just saw a flyer for that one on Facebook. And then the other one was Marina Shores, or the Eagles Club in Kenosha. And that building's outstanding. I love that building, and I love the fact that you can actually feel the wrestling history in that building when you go in there. But what I can't stand is the fact that it's on the third floor, and you'd have to have a real special ring to get it up there, man. Because when we brought my ring up there, which is an old World Wrestling Federation ring, oh my God, we were blown up getting the ring up to 3 floors. It's a beautiful, gorgeous hall right on Lake Michigan. But man, they put the highest part of the building, the hall, on top, and that just makes it like too hard to even run. You don't even want to think about it. Angelo Poffo enlisted in the Navy during World War II. I did not know that. Where in 1945, you've got to hear this, he set a world record for sit-ups. He completed 6,033 sit-ups in 4 hours and 10 minutes. According to Lanny, after 6,000 sit-ups, he did 33 more, one for each year of Jesus Christ's life, which I think is friggin' outstanding. During Poffo's time in college, he met another student, Judith Nee Sverdlin, and she was from Naperville, Illinois. They got married in 49, and they were married for 60 years. And then here is where it talks about Randy and Lonnie, that they had the 2 sons that were only 2 years apart, which explains why they were so close. After retiring from professional wrestling, Poffo taught physical education. His son Randy would also do things for him and his wife Judy, Randy's mom, sending them on trips to Japan and Europe and Israel until they told him they were too tired to travel. That's a great son, man, and I love hearing that about Randy. On Angelo's 70th birthday, Randy paid $50,000 to buy his father a yellow Cadillac automobile. The same car the elder Poffo had purchased in '59 and drove around the wrestling circuit for over 200,000 miles. When Angelo was sick, Randy installed an invalid toilet and walk-in bathtub for his parents' home. He was also known, and we're talking about Angelo, for saving money to help provide for his family. And I get it now. Like, he was supposed to be so compulsively cheap with saving, but it makes 100% sense to me now because of the type of person that he was. All those nickels, all those dimes added up, and as a result of that, it doesn't seem like his family wanted for much. And he must have done a hell of a job, because both Lanny and Randy's one of the most well-known wrestlers in the history of the industry. On March 4th, 2010, Angelo died in his sleep at the age of 84. His son Randy told the Tampa Bay Times, "I've always been proud to call Angelo Poffo my father. He is a great example of a self-sacrificing, hard-working man who always put his family first. He has always been my hero and my mentor." We can all just only hope that when we go, our kids think and feel the same way. And the priceless gift he gave me, I will have and cherish forever. Okay, guys, again, Jewish, Asian, Pacific Island wrestlers you should know. I hope you're enjoying these, because I sure as shit am, and that is a shoot, learning so much about these guys, and guys, a lot of them that should be commemorated, like the 2 we covered today, Tanaka and Poffo. Don't forget, this is being brought to you without YouTube commercials, so at least have the decency to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.